Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, welcome to virtual session of week 9 of IT project management course. If you can hear me properly, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me share slides with you. Okay, the agenda is first I'll continue with my lecture which I was given in the class. So although I covered most of the contents and a few contents were left, but I'll give you an overview of all the topics, and after that I'll be discussing assignment number 3 with you, which some of you have emailed me to tell you about. Okay, so we were talking about project cost management, which is one of the very important knowledge area in project management, because cost is one of the factors which is considered for the success or failure of a project. I'm going to skip this and I'm going to start from here. What is cost and project cost management? Cost is a resource sacrificed or foregone to achieve a specific objective or something given up in exchange. And these cost is really measured in monetary units like dollars. And project cost management knowledge area includes the process which are required to ensure that project is completed within an approved budget. These are the 3 processes of cost management: estimating costs, where we develop an approximation or estimate of the cost of resources needed to complete a project, and then we allocate that total cost to all the individual work items, and that is called determination of budget. And then once you have made your cost estimates, then you have to control changes to the project budget. You have to ensure, you have to see that which changes should be done so that the costs do not increase. And this is a summary where estimate cost and determine budget are the planning process, and control cost is the monitoring and controlling process. So there are some basic principles for cost management. To understand these things are important. Profits are revenues minus expenditures. Profit margin is the ratio of revenue to profits. Life cycle costing includes the total cost of ownership or development plus support cost. And cash flow analysis determines the estimated annual cost and benefits for a project and resulting annual cash flow. So when you look at your profits and loss and benefits annually, it's called cash flow analysis. Then tangible costs or benefits are those costs and benefits that an organization can measure in dollars, and intangibles are the ones which cannot be measured in monetary terms. Direct costs are the costs that are directly related for production of costs and services, and indirect are the costs which are not directly related to the products and services. And sunk cost is the money that has been spent in past when deciding what project to invest in. So when you take some time to select some project, so that money is not included in any project, so this is called sunk cost. Learning curve theory says that when many items are produced repetitively, the unit cost of those items decrease in a regular pattern as you produce more units. And when you talk about reserves in terms of cost management, it means the dollars included in cost estimates to mitigate cost risk by allowing for future situations that are difficult to predict. Now, these reserves can be contingency reserves or management reserves. Contingency reserves are for future situations that may be partially planned, and these are called known unknowns. And management reserves allow for future situations that are unpredictable. You don't know in advance. These are sometimes called unknown unknowns. Project manager must take cost estimates seriously if you want to complete project within budget, and so they should know that the types of cost estimates and what are the problems associated with that. So the type of estimates can be rough order of magnitude. It can be budgetary or it can be definitive. Rough order of magnitude is the initial estimate which is done initially in the project life cycle, and it is less accurate. A cost management plan is a document. Excuse me. Just wait for a minute. And that a cost management plan is a document that describes how organization will manage cost variance on the project, and a large percentage of total project cost includes the labor cost. So that the project manager needs to keep track of the labors involved in. And this is the maximum departmental headcounts by year. The information systems, marketing system, reservations, and contractors. And this is the headcounts shown over the years. Now, the basic tools and techniques for cost estimations are three: analysis or top-down estimates, bottom-up estimates, or parametric modeling approach. In analysis or top-down estimates, you use the actual cost of the previous similar project as the baseline for estimating the cost of the current project. So you make a rough estimate, and after that you divide that total cost into subparts. In bottom-up estimates, you involve estimating individual work items or activities, and you sum them up to get a project total. Mama. And third approach is parametric modeling approach, where we use project characteristics, or we call them as parameters, in mathematical model to estimate project costs. So these are the three tools and techniques which are used. These are some of the typical problems which are made when you make cost estimates. The estimates sometimes are done too quickly, so which they may be wrong. So when you hurry, you make wrong estimates, or you make estimates when you don't have estimating experience and you have not involved some experts in the estimation process. Or generally, human beings are biased towards underestimation, and sometimes management desires more accuracy than you can give. So these are some of the typical problems you face when you are making cost estimates. Sample cost estimates. If you see the following pages, you'll find a detailed example of creating a cost estimate for the survey flow project. Before creating an estimate, it is important to know what it will be used for. You gather as much information as possible and clarify the ground rules and assumptions for the estimate. If possible, you can estimate cost by major WBS categories, and you create a cost model to make it easy to make changes and document the estimate. So you consider the major WBS item and then estimate the cost of those items, and then you sum them up. Now this is the cost estimates for against the WBS item of the sample surveyor for project given in the book. So you can see here you have made this estimate, and then you have also calculated that how much percentage is of the total. You can identify that what is the major cost component in your project. And this is the development estimate, labor estimate, and there is another function point estimate. You can also make like how many function points you have in your software, and you calculate them according to the function points. The unit sometimes considered as the line of code, and sometimes you consider function points. Now, the second process is determining the budget. Cost budgeting involves allocating the project cost estimates to individual work items over time. So now you have an aggregate cost, now you have to allocate that cost to individual work items. So WBS is required input to the cost budgeting process since it defines the work items. So you are given a WBS, you are given total cost, now you have to allocate cost to each of the individual work items. And the important goal of budgeting is to define cost baseline, a time-phase budget that project managers use to measure and monitor cost performance. So you get a cost baseline, then you can know at any point of time that how much cost should have been spent by this time and what is the actual cost. So you have to calculate those differences as well. So the project manager can keep watching upon the cost if the cost baseline is established. Now the third process is cost control. The cost control includes monitoring cost performance. You are keeping an eye on whether the cost is according to the baseline or it is going above, and then ensuring that only appropriate project changes are included in the revised cost baseline. Like, because you are in your project, there will be changes which will be occurring at a later stage, but you have to incorporate those changes if they are in the plan and if they are within the scope, or they are according to the prior agreement. So when those changes are accommodated, some of the changes may increase your cost as well. So when you are saying that you are controlling costs, you have to keep an eye on the changes which are made to the project specifications, so that they may not increase cost to a large extent. Then informing project stakeholders of authorized changes to the project that will affect costs. Like, even you may accept some changes which are not very cost effective or which are expensive, but you have to inform the project stakeholders that this will you can do it, but you will be doing it with increased cost, not the cost which was initially planned, but the cost will increase. So if all stakeholders agree, then you can go for those changes. And many organizations around the globe have problems with cost control. It is very difficult to control the cost and to say no to the changes. So when the changes are coming from the customer, you have to incorporate those changes. So when you have to say that no, these changes are not incorporatable or you cannot incorporate, then you have to give a justification for that. And if some of the changes are you will be accepting, then how you can keep your costs under control. These are some of the challenges which project managers face around the globe. Now, earned value management. Earned value management is a project performance measurement technique. Now, baseline is the original plan plus approved changes, which stands with you at every point of time during the project. So with the baseline, you can determine how well the project is meeting its goals. So what you do is that you enter actual information periodically to use earned value management. And more organizations around the globe are using EVM to help control project costs. So this is a performance measurement technique. EVM is a performance measurement technique by which you can see that because this is integrating scope, time, and cost data, so you can see that how your project is going. You can determine the health of your project by using this technique. Now there are some terms which are used in earned value management. The planned value, actual cost, earned value. The planned value, formally called, we call it budgeted cost of work scheduled, BCWS. It is also called the budget. So the planned value or budget is that portion of the approved total cost estimate planned to be spent on an activity during a given period. So what you plan initially is your budget, and that is the planned value. Now actual cost, which was previously called actual cost of work performed, ACWP, is the total of direct and indirect costs incurred in accomplishing work or an activity during a given period. So actually, how much the work, after the completion of work, you calculate how much cost this work has costed you. The earned value, which was formerly called budgeted cost of work performed, BCWP, is an estimate of the value of the physical work actually completed. So what is the value of the work which is completed? It is based on the original planned cost for the project or activity and the rate at which the team is completing work on the project and activity to date. Now, rate of performance is the ratio of actual work completed to the percentage of work planned to have been completed at a given time. Like you planned for 60% completion of work and only 40% work is completed. So 40 is 40 ratio, 60 will be your rate of performance. For example, suppose the server installation was halfway completed by the end of week 1. The rate of performance would be 50% because by the end of week 1, the planned schedule reflects that the task should be 100% complete. So if it is 50% complete, then the ratio would be 50%. And only 50% work has been completed. Now this is the earned value calculation for one activity after week 1. So at any point you can calculate earned values. So here you see that activity, for some activity at week 1 the earned value is 5,000, planned value was 10,000, actual cost was 15,000. Now you will be wondering that how these things are calculated. Earned value, planned value, actual cost. There are some formulas for this. The earned value is calculated as project value, planned value to date multiplied by rate of performance. And similarly, cost variance, cost schedule variance, cost performance index is calculated using these formulas. Now, what you can depict or what you can identify from these numbers. You can see here actual cost, cost variance, schedule variance, cost performance index, and schedule performance index. Now, what these actually are indicating? Negative numbers for cost and schedule variance indicates problems in those areas. So if their cost and schedule variance are in negative, it means there are problems with that. CPI and SPI. Now CPI and SPI means cost performance index and schedule performance index. Less than 100% indicates problems. Problems mean the project is costing more than the plan or taking longer than the plan. So if CPI is high, it means the project is costing more than planned, so overall your cost will be high. And if it is SPI is high, it means the project is lagging behind and the overall duration will increase. The CPI can be used to calculate the estimate at completion, EAC, which is an estimate of what it will cost to complete the project based on performance to date. So you at any point you determine the current performance of project and then you estimate the cost at completion. Like what will be the cost at the completion of project. The budget at completion is the original total budget for the project. So how much was the budget and the estimated completion what you are estimating. Now if you see from this diagram here, where its actual cost, planned value and earned values are shown, the x-axis is showing months and the y-axis is showing cost. Now you see here that the actual cost is higher than the planned value, planned cost, planned value, and earned value is lower. And then you see here that estimate at completion at EAC point above and to the right of BAC point. Now you see here that BAC point is behind the budget at completion. You wanted to complete project in 12 months, 11 and a half months, and you estimated $100,000. And the estimate at completion, at any point you have made an estimate, and the EAC point is above BAC and to the right, means that the project is projected to cost more and take longer than the plan. So at any point you can make this estimate, and you can identify in advance that the cost and duration of project will be higher at the end of completion. So you can take some control measures, corrective measures to bring this EAC back to BAC. Now, another technique which is used by some organizations to reduce the cost of your project is to make projects using keeping them in the form of portfolio. Many organizations collect and control an entire suite of projects or investment as one set of interrelated activities in a portfolio. Like you say that instead of starting one project, you take multiple projects and you start them. So what you do is that put all your projects in one database, prioritize the projects in your database, and divide your projects into two or three budgets based on types of investment, and automate the repository and apply modern portfolio theory, including risk and return tools that map the project risk on the chart. So what you are doing is that you have started multiple projects and you are managing them at once, although you have prioritized them as well. Schlumberger, which is a very famous organization, famous company, saved $3 million in 1 year. $3 million is a huge figure. They saved this much amount in 1 year by organizing 120 information technology projects into a portfolio. So ROI, return on investment, of the implementing portfolio management software by IT department depicted that savings of 6.5% of the average annual IT budget by the end of year 1, improved annual average project timelines by 45.2%, reduced IT management time spent on project status reporting, decreased the time to achieve financial sign-off for new IT projects by 20.4%, or 8.4 days. So these are the benefits of portfolio management. A global survey released by Borland Software in 2006 suggests that many organizations are still at a low level of maturity in terms of how they define project goals, allocate resources, and measure overall success of their information technology portfolios. Some of the findings include only 22% of the survey respondents reported that their organizations either effectively or infrequently use project plans. Only 17% have either rigorous or very rigorous processes for project plans, and only 20% agreed that the organization monitor portfolio progress. You can use software to assist in cost management. You can use spreadsheets, Excel sheets, which is a common tool for resource planning, cost estimation, and control. Many companies, however, sometimes use more sophisticated and centralized financial application softwares. And project management software has many cost-related features to also be used. And portfolio management software can also be used, which help reduce the cost. Now this is the chapter summary. Now I want to know if you have any questions from this. Any questions? Okay. Okay, now I want to explain assignment number 3, which one of you emailed me and asked me to explain you. Assignment number 3 is complete question 1 from exercise A3 software training program in appendix A.74 and follow all pertinent steps related to creating a WBS for this project. Okay, now it's clear. Vanina, you asked me, I think you emailed me. Okay. Okay, let me open book. first. Okay, let me open book first, then I'll tell you about it. It was an exercise A3. Okay, the exercise is ABC company has 50,000 employees and want to increase employee productivity by setting up an internal software application training program. The training program will teach employees how to use the Microsoft software programs such as Vista and this. Is offered raising and this. Okay. Now what you have to do is that you have to create WBS for this project and enter the task in project 2010. Create milestones and summary tasks which you might send the project. The tasks you need to do are similar to tasks from project tracking database examples. So these are the WBS items which are already given to you. You have to enter these items in a WBS. Okay, these items are given to you. You have to make WBS, and you have to make WBS in. Try to perform this in project 2010. Use Microsoft project. At this stage, I only want you to make a WBS of this. And as I told you, that you can make it in any software. You can make it in Word, or you can make it by hand. See, like all the work items are given over here. Create a WBS for this project and enter the task in project 2010. Create milestones and summary tasks. As you might know, the project management tasks you need to do are similar to tasks from project tracking database examples. Some of the tasks specific to this project will be review off-the-shelf training material, negotiate a contract with selected vendor, develop communication information about this training program, and create a survey to determine the number of type of courses needed, administer the survey. So you can think that which tasks or which activities are related, and you can merge them up in a broader activity. You can give them a new name. But these are the major from A to I. These are the major items which you have to place in WBS. What you can do is that you can merge up similar activities or similar tasks and give them a new label, which will be like at the level above the bottom level. Okay, so all of these can be placed at the bottom level, and you can merge them up and give them a new name, or you can combine a few of them. No, this is not about cost. No, this assignment is not about cost. This assignment is about creation of WBS. Okay? Right now, you don't have to worry about cost. Not about time as well. This is just about how you divide your work? How do you create WBS? What do you think is the major milestone? So I would suggest first identify the WBS item and use Microsoft Project software and make a WBS, make a Gantt chart or over there. Although this will be part of your next assignment. If you look at your assignment, you are asked to complete question 1, not the other questions, because if you'll see that question number 2 is part of the other assignment, question number 3 is part of another assignment. So in this assignment, you only have to attempt question number 1, that is about project scope management. So this assignment is from project scope management. You don't have to calculate cost for this right now. Okay. Any other questions? Any questions? Okay. Okay, I'm turning the microphone off and recording off. And I'm here. If you find any question, you can type in the text panel and I'll answer you over there. Okay. Thank you very much.